What's good, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today, we're jumping back into the Go Battle League arena. But before we discuss our team for today, really quickly, just wanted to give a quick shout out to the upcoming Squirtle Community Day. So the Community Day Classics always feature a Pokemon that has been featured in a previous Community Day, and I think it's pretty awesome that this time around it's going to be Squirtle. Give everyone a chance who maybe hasn't been playing since the OG days or didn't get a chance to get their sunglasses Squirtle shiny. It'll give them a chance to get that and add it to their collection. So that's pretty awesome. Let me know if you're excited down in the comments. But hopping into our team today, we're featuring a team with double Mud Boys in the back and Abomasnow on the lead. So this ABB team, similar to other ABB lines, is designed to draw out our closer Swampert's hardest counters by safe swapping into Quagsire. Quagsire is going to not necessarily be able to flip switch necessarily, but more so be able to get our opponents low and to hopefully get shield advantage for us through its very versatile moveset that does have good coverage on the meta. Abomasnow in the lead. I have to be transparent here. I would have rather used Alolan Ninetales. Alolan Ninetales does have a lot of better matchups over the meta, especially Medicham and Sableye, but Abomasnow does also pick up, have better matchups against a lot of waters, including Lantern. But transparency purposes, I wasn't able to build a Ninetales. I ran out of charge TMs, so right now I'm rocking Blizzard and Ice Beam on it. I'll make sure to get that Ninetales squared away so that we can feature it in a future video. But for now, let's hop into some battles, see if we can allow our Shadow Swampert to hit the Suiton water style jutsu on our opponents. Hopping straight into the first battle here, we have Abomasnow on the lead against Deoxys. This is a miserable lead, as Deoxys will be dealing super effective damage onto our Abomasnow with these counters. And even though we do safe swap into Quagsire, the reality here, as I quickly found out, is that nothing on our team appreciates any counter user, which will be difficult in coming battles. But for now, we have our opponent swapping in Noctowl, and this is perfect for us. We're drawing out the flyer. We're able to grab a shield here. We're going to get this Noctowl extremely low with this super effective Stone Edge. Bam! As we see, Noctowl is now in a red. We could potentially shield this up and make a play for switch, or put additional shield pressure on the opponent, but instead we're going to opt to allow our Quagsire to go down, go for the aggressive farm down on our Abomasnow, be able to get this energy onto the opponent's Deoxys here and fire off an energy ball. This will deal about 40% damage to the Deoxys, and then we will be scooping into our Swampert. I'm anticipating a Psycho Boost and dip here from the opponent, so I'm going to shield this up and see what they have in the back, and it is going to be a Hitmonchan, and that's a shiny Hitmonchan at that. So we are going to greet Hitmonchan with this Hydro Cannon, able to reach a second Hydro Cannon. We're going to respect the damage here by shielding this up. It's likely a Thunder Punch, but no, it is an Ice Punch. It's always Elemental Punch Roulette. Every time you think you have a read on what they might be running, they're running something different, but we're able to secure a knockout with a Hydro Cannon, and we'll be calling game with this Hydro Cannon. Well played by the opponent. Thank you for the match. All right, so that worked out perfectly. Perfect demonstration of how our ABB line should be ran, with Quagsire drawing out the flyer. It's Abomasnow's hardest counter, being able to deal significant damage onto it, allow the Abomasnow to take energy into whatever matchup comes after. Here we safe swap into this Quagsire. We have the Dunsparce on the lead. Abomasnow doesn't have a great matchup against Dunsparce. We found out from previous battles that Dunsparce doesn't hit the hardest, but it will be dealing super effective damage as we are throwing on alignment. Dunsparce will be dealing super effective damage to our Ice-type Pokemon with its Rock-type moves. And I have to admit, full transparency, that I still don't have a good grasp on the animation for rollout or the timing for this fast move either, as we do throw on alignment again, and this is critical for us as we will be reaching this Mud Bomb, putting shield pressure on the opponent, and they are able to shield. And because we are throwing on alignment, the opponent, very likely could have farmed this down. But instead, they're going to expend some of their energy here, being able to reach another charge move on 1 HP here. We chose not to throw, even though Abomasnow would have 1 CMP tie. We want to match their shield, so now we both have 1 shield, but Abomasnow comes into this next matchup with a ton of energy. That's going to be tough. Empoleon is a difficult Pokemon for our Abomasnow, but the opponent swaps into Malamar. This Malamar is a psychic and dark type Pokemon, so a very interesting typing. We'll be throwing off these foul plays here into our Swampert. Swampert should be able to survive 1, but even then we don't want to allow any damage onto it if at all possible. We will be firing off another Hydro Cannon, but we are not able to take out the Malamar, unfortunately. How much damage will this foul play do? It gets us extremely low, but we are able to farm down and should be firing off a Hydro Cannon into the Empoleon, but we do not, as we go down with back-to-back Hydro Cannons, met by the Empoleon in the back, throwing this energy ball. Will we be able to survive this Drill Peck, or will this Empoleon be calling game? Abomasnow is able to hang on minimal HP. It's a race to the next charge move. Empoleon going for the farm down, but Abomasnow is able to get to this energy ball and call game. Well played by the opponent. Thank you for the match. So that was a pretty exciting match, but admittedly, it was a lot closer than it needed to be. I definitely have a terrible habit right now with getting farmed down with at least 1 charge move, right? I am optimistic or a little too idealistic with hoping I get to the harder hitting move, and a lot of times I'm going down without just taking the safer play. Here we have Nidoqueen on the lead. We will be doing super effective damage to the Nidoqueen with our Powder Snow, but Abomasnow will also be taking super effective damage with the Nidoqueen's Poison Jab, and we have 2 Pokemon that are better suited to take on the Nidoqueen in the back with our Quagsire, and as we do safe swap into our Quagsire, are able to secure the opponent's first shield with the Stone Edge, and we'll be throwing off another Stone Edge. With this being already my second time with Quagsire on Noctowl, I kind of realized that throwing the bait before throwing a Stone Edge or even 2 Stone Edges might be a better play, as the opponent has now shielded my first charge move both times. So that might just be some food for thought for me in these upcoming battles, but also for you if you're ever confronted in that situation. Here we have Noctowl getting to the back-to-back sky attacks. We will shield the first, but will absorb the damage onto our Abomasnow, and then the opponent swaps into their Escavalier. Escavalier is going to be extremely tough for our team, as they do have an energy advantage, and although our Shadow Swampert is able to hit extremely hard, this Hydro Cannon will not be enough to knock out the Escavalier, as they do choose to expend their final shield and can safely farm up a little bit before throwing off another drill run, taking out our Swampert and farming down our Abomasnow. I choose not to delay the inevitable there and instead allow the Escav to call game. Well played by the opponent. Thank you for the match. Hopping into our next battle, and this is extremely difficult for our team. As you will see, we have a Medicham on the lead, which will be dealing super effective damage to our Abomasnow with the fast move of counter, and it's running Power Up Punch. Opponent extremely greedy with the Power Up Punch fast move in place of the Ice Punch, and I for one can appreciate that, but not in this situation, as we are going to be extremely pressed here for our health and shields onto our Quagsire, as the Medicham does shield 1. Mud Bomb does get the Medicham below 50 HP, or 50% HP, but this Medicham is just getting started, ladies, gents, and NBs, as they throw another Power Punch onto our Swampert, and at this point, I just have to respect the damage. Shadow Swampert is extremely glassy, and we will not be appreciating these Power Punches. I'm hoping that the opponent just lets this Medicham go, but they instead get even more greedy. Respect to them. They shield my Hydro Cannon, and at this point, Medicham has already almost farmed our Swampert all the way down with boosted counters. We are finally able to take out the Medicham, but at the expense of one of our Mud Boys and almost at the expense of a second, as we have very minimal health on our Swampert, and the opponent swaps into their Pelipper. Pelipper is counter swapped by our Abomasnow. Abomasnow getting to this Weather Ball. This will be doing a decent amount of damage, but it will not be enough, as the opponent can safely build up to this Hurricane. and blast our Abomasnow into the sky. As we do get to another Hydro Cannon, we are choosing to fight the good fight here, battling until the very end as Swampert claims the Pelipper on 1 HP, but gets lock on down by the Registeel, and that is the Registeel calling game. Well played by the opponent. Thank you for the match. Hopping into our next match, we have an interesting lead with Dewgong against our Abomasnow. Dewgong will be dealing neutral damage with its fast move of Ice Shard as well as its legacy charge move of Icy Wind. And so we throw our energy ball, which will be dealing super effective damage onto the opponent. My play here is to throw this first energy ball, take the damage and the energy onto our Abomasnow, and then dip into our Quagsire. This is a decent match for Quagsire as well, even though we will get debuffed as the opponent is able to outpace us to the first charge move. Even though we are debuffed, the Stone Edge would be dealing super effective damage and massive damage at that to the Dewgong. As such, they swap out into their Sableye. Sableye greeted with 1 and now 2 Mud Bombs, as this will be doing decent damage onto the opponent and does start threatening their health, putting them into the red. Sableye able to reach its first charge move here. We are debuffed and will not be able to reach a third charge move, so we do let our Quagsire go. As Abomasnow comes back in and is able to outpace the Sableye there, we probably could have thrown 1, maybe 2 more Powder Snow there, but I wanted to preserve the health on my Abomasnow. As we are greeted by a Medicham in the back, and this is brutal. We have 2 shields here as the Dewgong is able to come back into the matchup. Will be taking this Earthquake. Will the opponent choose to shield? They do not. Swampert is going to have to get the aggressive farm down here, but will have to take this Icy Wind debuff before doing so. Swampert, now debuffed in their attack, will be greeted by the Medicham. We're firing off this debuffed Hydro Cannon to stall out our switch timer. It's not stalled out enough as we do throw on CMP tie. The question is, will our Swampert be able to reach another charge move? Swampert is not able to reach another charge move as we were not able to stall out our switch clock. Swampert survives on the blessings of its ancestors at 1 HP. Will this be enough to knock out the Medicham? No, they expend their final shield. Abomasnow unable to get to the Weather Ball as the Medicham calls game. Well played by the opponent. Thank you for the match. I don't think that Weather Ball, Ice-type Weather Ball, would have been enough to knock out the Medicham, but a guy can dream. We have a Nightmare lead here, and this is just a Nightmare matchup as the opponent's playing Grasshole, and we just auto lose to Grasshole as we are countered heavily pretty much at for each Pokemon. So we have Abomasnow on the lead against Bastiodon. Basti will be dealing super effective damage with the Smackdowns. We swap into our Mudboy, gets farmed down immediately by the Shadow Vic, and at this point, I am demoralized. I undercharged because I shouldn't have thrown in the first place as the opponent debuffs us with their Acid Spray that we shielded. Opponent now swapping back into their Bastiodon, which I'm just throwing to fight the good fight here. But yeah, not to be too fatalistic, but this has been a GG since the loading screen as we meet the Medicham in the back, and we know fully well, even before the opponent swaps in their Pokemon, we know fully well what is waiting for us back there. We're going to continue fighting the good fight, delaying the inevitable, but at the end of the day, the writing's on the wall here. That's fine. I'm going to shield up just because I felt like the opponent was trying to troll me a little bit, so I just wanted to troll them a little bit back. But that's a GG to the opponent. Well played, I suppose. Thank you for the match. Hopping straight into the next battle, likely not Emily. That's exactly what an Emily would say. We have a decent lead here, actually a good lead with Abomasnow on the lead against Swampert. Abomasnow does comfortably win that matchup as we are met by the opponent's Wall Rain and we counter swap into our Quagsire. Quagsire will be eating this first Icicle Spear and we over farm too much, not able to throw a charge move before the opponent is able to get to another Icicle Spear. We throw this first Mud Bomb, putting shield pressure and health pressure on the opponent. They do choose to shield. Will they be expending both shields here? I highly doubt it as we're going for the Stone Edge. Bam! Stone Edge is able to claim the Wall Rain and get the knockout. The opponent comes in with their third Pokemon, so revealing their final Pokemon, which is the Noctowl. Noctowl will not be appreciating this Stone Edge as they do choose to shield it up. So that is reflection on a previous comment if I would have went for a mud bomb there, I may have been able to continue farming and get the Stone Edge, as it was very likely that the opponent was going to be shielding with the threat of Stone Edge being very imminent. As the opponent is now firing off this charge move onto our Swampert, we do shield up, and we will be able to easily outpace the opponent, as they know that we are waiting for them to swap out, but they aren't. And finally, we throw the Hydro Cannon, and the opponent swaps out at the perfect time. It was good timing, but they did catch the Hydro Cannon onto their Shadow Swampert, which did about 90% damage. So at the end of the day, it was a great play by the opponent, but I'm not too upset about having my charge move caught onto their Shadow Swampert, as we are now able to bring in our Abomasnow, able to reach this Ice-type Weather Ball, which will be knocking out the Noctowl. As Abomasnow calls game, well played by the opponent. Thank you for the match. Hopping into our next battle here, we've had a mix of really tough leads and some really decent leads, as this is a pretty difficult lead for us, as this Ariados will be dealing super effective damage onto our Abomasnow with its Poison Stings. So we swap into our Quagsire, and we are counter swapped by Azumarill. Azumarill is a Pokemon that our entire line has at least some play against, so this isn't too bad for us, as the Azumarill will be throwing this Ice Beam onto our Quagsire. Quagsire firing off a second Mud Bomb is just about at the back-to-back here. This Mud Bomb will start putting some pressure on the opponent's health and shields, as we now reach another charge move. I'm expecting the opponent to think they can survive one more Mud Bomb, and we are able to throw the Stone Edge, throw a couple of Mud Shots, come out of that matchup with some residual energy, reach another Mud Bomb on the Ariados, but we are not able to win CMP tie here. Is this a cross poison? No, it is the lunge. They just were able to reach the lunge. We bring in our Swampert to greet this spider. Swampert going to call the bait, and it is the lunge, as we are now debuffed. And I am able to reach this first Hydro Cannon, will be firing it off into our opponent. Although it's resisted, it will be doing heavy damage onto the opponent. And at this point, I have lost track of their fast moves and of their energy, so I was assuming that was going to be a lunge, but it was a cross poison, and I was off my fast moves by 1 here. So I thought if the last one wasn't a lunge, this one has to be a lunge. But no, it was another cross poison shield bait, as Swampert would have been easily able to survive at least one of those, as we do expend both shields. Now debuffed, the opponent brings in their final Pokemon, which is going to be the Galarian Stunfisk. And this is looking like a tough matchup for us, as the opponent can basically just save their shield for the Swampert that will be coming back in, and just no shield all of these charge moves from our Abomasnow. At that point, I should have built up to the Energy Ball, as the opponent likely knew that I was energy dry and was able to effectively charge up even more to the back-to-back rock slide, which will be taking out our Swampert here. So a couple misplays by me in that game. Not terrible, but those are the types of plays that flip a matchup. So GG to the opponent. Well played, as the Stunfisk calls game. Thank you for the match. Hopping into the next battle, we have a tough lead against the opponent's Galarian Stunfisk, but the opponent swaps into their Shadow Vic, and this is a miracle for us, as Shadow Vic would quite obviously sweep our entire backline, but instead the opponent save swaps into their Shadow Vic. We are calling this bait here. Even if it's a Leaf Blade, we're still going to be able to get the farm down with our Abomasnow, and Abomasnow is able to come out of that matchup with an Energy Ball, as well as having claimed switch advantage and shield advantage from that opponent. So best case scenario for us, as we are now bringing in our Quagsire into the opponent's Wigglytuff, and this is pretty much a GG here. The opponent not knowing what we have in the back, but this Quagsire will be able to knock out the Wigglytuff, as the opponent expends their final shield before the opponent's able to get to a charge move with their Wigglytuff. They're going to bring in their Galarian Stunfisk here, and they know that's a GG. Swampert able to ride the bench, collect its paycheck, and not have to put in any work or effort there, as Quagsire calls game. Well played by the opponent. Thank you for the match. Hopping into the final battle of our video, we have a solid lead with Jellicent on the lead against our Abomasnow as the opponent save swaps into the old friend Toxicroak. Welcome back, Toxicroak. Toxicroak firing off this mud bomb as Quagsire will not be appreciating anything that the Toxicroak has for it. As Toxicroak expends its first shield, Toxicroak going for the aggressive farm down, not able to get the farm down before we reach another mud bomb. Will the Toxicroak expend both shields? No, the opponent lets their Toxicroak go as they are content with getting the farm down on their Jellicent, now taking the energy advantage onto our Abomasnow. And here's a learning lesson or some food for thought for fellow battlers out there. It seems like, at least to me, a lot of times when a Jellicent is ahead on energy and they have you in an obvious shield scenario, they are going to bait, especially when they're running that bubble beam. It's like a 90% chance that they're going to bait. I shield the bubble beam there and it is so painful as the opponent swaps into their Charm Ninetales and we counter swap into our Swampert as Swampert is able to get to another Hydro Cannon. This second Hydro Cannon will be putting significant health pressure on the opponent as they now have shields down. I'm going for the aggressive farm down onto this Alolan Ninetales as I realize our win condition is to take all of this energy and dump it into the Jellicent. I'm not sure how much damage this energy ball is going to do, but I'm hopeful that it'll take out the Jellicent, but it does not, as we are at the weather ball, but we do not throw the weather ball. We instead mistakenly go for the energy ball, and this will be Jellicent calling game. Just kidding, our Abomasnow survives on the blessings of its ancestors, and I realistically cannot even see any HP in that HP bar for our Abomasnow, but that is Abomasnow calling game. Well played by the opponent. Thank you for the match. Thank you everyone for the games. I appreciate it. And thank you for everyone for stopping by today. I had an insane amount of fun running this double Mud Boy line. I've never ran a line like this before. Obviously, we haven't really had the opportunity as the Whiscash and the Quagsire were recently buffed with the damage buff of Mud Bomb this season. So a line like this, ABB line, double Mud Boy, it was a ton of fun. Overall, I'd say definitely think about running Alolan Ninetales in your lead in place of the Abomasnow, as it will be handling the fighters a lot more effectively. But that's going to be all from me. Thanks for stopping by. Remember to enjoy the small things. Peace.